You know that feeling when you're in a room full of people but you feel completely, totally alone? Yeah, that's what we're going to talk about today. That strange, heavy silence, the psychology behind feeling invisible in a group.
Wow, this quote really just nails it, doesn't it? It's not that people can't physically see you. No, it's that deeper, sinking feeling that your presence, who you are, it's just not landing. It's not registering with anyone.
So, have you ever felt that? Like you're right there, in the room, but you're just not in the conversation. It's like the dialogue is a river, and it's just flowing around you or over you, and you can't seem to step into the current no matter what you do.
All right, so let's get into it. What does it actually feel like to be this unseen presence? Let's break that down.
I mean, you're doing everything right, aren't you? You laugh at the jokes, you nod along, you even try to speak up. But it's like there's this weird disconnect. Your words, your presence, it just doesn't seem to land. It's like you're throwing a pebble into a lake and there's no ripple. It just vanishes. And here's the thing, it's usually not one big, dramatic moment of rejection. It's this subtle pattern that builds up over time. You know what I'm talking about. You start to say something and someone just talks right over you, or you get interrupted halfway through a sentence. Maybe you've even done that little test, right, where you just stop talking and see if anyone notices, and nothing. Or the second you contribute, the whole conversation just shifts. It's all these tiny little moments, and your brain is quietly in the background connecting all the dots.
Okay, and let's be real here. This isn't just a little awkward. It actually genuinely hurts. But why? Why does being ignored feel so sharp, so physically real?
Well, here's the wild part. It's biology. Your brain is hardwired for social connection. It's literally a survival mechanism. So get this, social neuroscience shows that when you're ignored or excluded, the parts of your brain that light up are the exact same areas that process physical pain. So no, you're not just being sensitive. Your brain is sending you a very real, very loud alert signal. And this is maybe the most important thing to get from all of this. It's not a character flaw. It's not something that's wrong with you. It is a nervous system response. It's your body's natural reaction to getting these repeated signals from the world that are basically saying, hey, you're not needed in this group.
And we really have to be clear about something. This is not the same thing as being shy. Not at all. Shyness is usually about the fear of starting the interaction. But feeling invisible, that's what happens after you've tried. It's the painful result of putting yourself out there again and again and just getting nothing back. Just dismissal.
So faced with this constant pain signal, what does your brain do? Well, it's an incredible survival machine, so it does what it does best. It adapts. But as you can probably guess, these quiet adaptations, they come with a price.
So how does this work? Well, when you're overlooked again and again, your brain kind of flips a switch. It shifts its strategy from participate to observe. You stop trying to jump in, and instead you become this incredible observer. You develop this hyper-awareness. You become an expert at reading the room. You see all the little power dynamics. You notice who gets to talk. And you pick up on all these tiny micro-reactions that everyone else just completely misses. And this leads to something called anticipatory withdrawal. It's a key defense mechanism. Basically, you think about saying something, but then your brain runs this super fast simulation of what's going to happen. It predicts the interruption or that awkward silence after you speak, and it just decides, nope, not worth it. So you pull back before the rejection can even happen. See? It's not a personality trait, it's a protective strategy your brain learned. So what's the result of all this? Well, you often end up being this incredibly emotionally intelligent, super perceptive person. But you're also just quietly exhausted all the time. Because here's the secret. Being the quiet one in a group isn't restful. It's constant, high alert, invisible work.
And over time, what happens on the outside starts to echo on the inside. All that external dismissal. It creates this powerful internal echo chamber, and it completely changes how you see and relate to yourself.
And that echo often sounds a lot like this. What's wrong with me? That question just starts to haunt you, right? You replay conversations over and over in your head, analyzing every little thing. Was it my tone? Was my timing off? Did I say the wrong thing? And all of that questioning, it just slowly, piece by piece, erodes your trust in yourself.
You know, there's actually a name for this: internalized social invalidation. It's basically when the outside world dismisses you so often that your own brain just takes over the job. It starts to dismiss your thoughts for you before anyone else even gets a chance. You filter your own ideas, you second-guess them, and they die before they ever get spoken.
And what's so important to understand is that this kind of pain, it doesn't usually explode. It's much quieter than that. It just accumulates like a fine dust, and it settles deep down inside of you. And it shows up in other ways, right? Like chronic self-doubt, or finding it really hard to set boundaries, or just having this nagging feeling that at the end of the day, you're replaceable.
But listen, here's the hopeful part. This is a learned response, and anything that's learned can be unlearned. It's all about reclaiming your space. But maybe not in the way you're expecting.
Okay, so first things first. The answer isn't just to be louder or be more assertive. Forcing yourself to perform some version of confidence that feels totally fake, that's just going to add another layer of exhaustion to the whole thing.
No, the real work, it's an inside job. It's about learning how to be rooted in your own worth, completely separate from how a group of people might react to you in any given moment. It's about building that sense of validation from the inside out.
So where do you even start? Well, you can start small. Start by just honoring your own thoughts as valid, even if you keep them to yourself. Then, maybe choose spaces that feel a little safer for your nervous system, like smaller groups or just one-on-one chats. You could practice tiny acts of self-assertion, like just finishing your sentence when someone tries to talk over you. But most of all, you have to remember this. Being overlooked does not mean you're unimportant. Feeling invisible is a response your brain came up with to protect you. It is not your identity.
Because at the end of the day, the goal isn't to be the life of the party or to command the attention of every single room. It's about being truly seen by someone. And sometimes, actually most of the time, that someone has to be you first. You have to be the one who decides to see, hear, and value yourself, no matter what's echoing back from the outside world.
So I want to leave you with this. Your worth, it isn't like the stock market, you know? It doesn't go up and down based on who's paying attention to you. It's constant. So just think about it for a second. What would change for you? What could happen in your life if you truly, deeply believe that?